Hello, everybody. We are so glad that you're with us, and I am here again with Stephanie Gastower, and she's going to kick off our Beyond Sunday podcast today. Go ahead.
Awesome. It's great to be here today. And, the charge that you gave was ponder, right?
Yeah,
and
let's ponder.
Let's ponder. Well, I am a professional ponderer
of
the things. And so brought lots of questions with me. And I loved the message. And what it looks like on Monday, I still am not sure because I went home very convicted to take some inventory of how I spend my time, resources, money, effort, energy, where I spend all that.
Yeah.
Thought I was doing a bunch of good stuff, and now I'm thinking, oh my.
Oh boy.
Am I really doing the good stuff?
Yeah.
So I think a couple questions pop up for me, which can good things become idols even when they're God-given?
Yeah, I think so. I think for me, that's what I hear in the passage like Isaiah 40 when he talks about idol worship. You know, at the heart, gold, wood, these are all created things that are good. They're gifts from God. And we have this human tendency, I think, to really need and want to have something we can count on. Because let's face it, so much in this world you can't count on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'll just speak for myself. I won't speak for the whole church, the universe, or anybody else.
Absolutely.
For me. And what I related to in Isaiah 40 is I want to judge them and say, come on, guys, what are you making these little idols for? You got the one true God speaking to you. And yet I do too. And I don't really, in my mind, set out and plan and say, I'm going to create an idol out of this good thing that's in my life that God has given me.
Yeah.
But I am sometimes I feel so overwhelmed or so discouraged that it's just nice to have something that I can look at and I can point to and say that as long as this is happening and as long as this is good and it's in my life, then I can pretty well survive anything else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not a bad thing to have these
Right.
gifts because God intends it. But I think I'm learning sometimes I'm putting a little more dependence on something that ultimately isn't going to last.
Yes.
In a way that might be shifting me away from God saying, hey, I created that for you. It's good.
Yeah. That was a big revelation for me for lots of different reasons, because the things that are God-given, that are good, family and ministry and health and service to others, how much of that do we pour into as a distraction for religion and not a relationship with God?
Yeah, good question. Yeah.
So for me personally, about 3 years ago, I took a really deep dive into a health journey.
Yeah.
So I was born with a bone disease, and my children and one grandchild has it. I've had over 20 breaks. And during my lifetime, I haven't really considered myself to be physically strong. Mentally, I have worked really hard to overcome that and to put myself in a position of being knowledgeable about things. And even though I've never felt physically strong, I've always paid attention to strength training, and in comparison to what I think same-aged peers would be.
Yeah.
That's totally not right for me. I need to focus on stability. Strength is one of those pieces. Stability, because I'm really bendy, and making sure that I can be stable and focus on things like balance. So my training looks very different.
Right.
But my day is so disciplined in terms of what I do for my health and well-being. I work with lots of coaches. I spend lots of time, lots of money, lots of training, lots of effort into those things to be the healthiest version of myself that I can be.
Yeah.
But I went through a big back surgery in January. And up until about 4 weeks ago, I was pretty much in pain all day, every day.
Yeah.
So things have changed,
Right.
and it's good, and we're staying
Yes.
the course, and I feel really great, ready to get back into more things than I was able to before. But then I thought, what if this piece fails?
Oh.
I live by myself. I have 2 kiddos who, one of them is on the river 3 weeks at a time. One of them doesn't live super locally. If this fails and I lose independence
Yeah.
and I hurt every day, all day,
Yeah.
then what?
Cool.
And I'm going to tell you the answer was not a good one.
Right. Right.
It was not a good one.
No. Mm-mm.
So on the other side of that, I can reflect because I'm not in it.
Right.
Couldn't see him there.
Mm-hmm.
And when I left church yesterday, I'm like, oh, Sadie, you probably need to think about this one. Maybe you're putting a little bit too much focus and emphasis on
Yeah.
those things. Are
Yeah.
you putting that above your relationship with Christ? Wow, that was a biggie.
Yeah. And I think that it was for me too. Like I was, and I hope I was trying to convey that yesterday. Like
You absolutely did.
This has been a very, this was a very convicting one for me.
Oh
like
my
a lot of
gosh.
self-inventory, looking inside and saying, because it's easy on the bad things. I'm really good at that. Like, oh, Chad, that's not okay. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like, I mean, I may not always
Evident.
listen to God on that, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I can tell the difference, but it's these things that are good things that sometimes I have to step back and say, whoa. And for me, like, you know, with the whole fitness thing, that's what it was for me. When I realized one day that, wow, I'm feeling guilty because I don't get the full amount of steps in that I usually do in one day a week.
Yeah.
You know, and now I'm taking time away from my family and I'm running over here to go, and I'm like, and that for me was saying something healthy has become disordered for me. I'm not saying for everybody,
Right,
you know what I
right.
mean? I'm not, other people that may not be the case at all, you know, but for me, I was reacting then to this little God out of guilt, not out of health, out of meaning, out of connection with God. I wasn't
Yes.
doing that. I was just checking off the box because I felt bad that I didn't do it, you know?
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
And then the question becomes, how do we discern
Mm-hmm.
whether something is healthy stewardship or has become an idol? So what's the biblical line in the sand for that?
Right.
How do I know that it's what's at the heart of the matter? How do I know that?
Right. Well, I think now you're going to push back on this, and I'm
Maybe.
ready for it.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think it's always a good thing when in our faith journey we are open to and willing to have those conversations with ourselves and God, and maybe even others. You know.
Right.
Like that alone, I think, says the heart is. If I believe all good things come from God, and that includes the good thoughts I have, the good, you know, any good intentions I have, like that, He's feeding all that. He's the source of all that. Then when I ask that question, instead of having to feel like, wow, Chad, you're really screwing up again in your faith, it's more of, wow, God, like how much you care for me, how much relationship you want to have with me. And am I limiting you in some way? Because in some innocent way, I've kind of made something else have a little more place of importance in my life than what it should. And even though it's a good thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that just that openness alone says a lot, you know, a humility and a willingness to stop back. Because I think that our world does not naturally encourage us to step back, pause, and just even ask questions like this, you know?
So I love that we have talked about just the permission to ask,
Yeah.
and that we might not know or understand,
Right.
because I do not agree with everything happens for a reason. I think that's BS.
Totally agree with you on that.
I think there are
Yeah.
some things that are just too heinous.
Yes.
I mean, they just
I
are.
think it is absolutely. I had this conversation with somebody today, actually, who said someone just told me, and they named their, horrific as a child. And they said, someone said to me, everything happens for a reason. You just need to accept that. And I said, that means that God sat in heaven and said, I'm going to let fill in the blank happen to you. And I'll have a reason for it. Just trust me. And that does not align with the character of Jesus Christ that we see in Scripture. That's I'll stand on that.
I'm glad, because I'll stand with you
Right.
on that.
Yeah.
I do not believe that at all.
No.
I also, as we have been through this series, do not believe I have the understanding
Sure.
to maybe say that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So from his perspective, I cannot see it, and I like answers.
Yeah. Definitely.
And for the answer to be, you can't understand, it's really hard for me.
Right.
Because I'm one of those people that go down that rabbit hole and research until I understand and can help somebody else understand it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so it's hard to think I can't understand this, whatever that may be. So just taking some personal inventory yesterday and thinking, okay, there are things that go on that I don't understand. And how can I discern in my life what is bringing me closer or further away, even though I think this health thing that I've been doing and do it very disciplined every day is good stewardship on my behalf. Am I saying, God, I just don't trust you in this? So I know you say you don't need my help, but I'm pretty sure you do. Just let me do this thing.
Or is it, and just hear me out, or is it just a occasional, like, re-nudging, over. So, like, I haven't given up my walk every day.
Right.
But when I had that little moment of aha moment, it was like, whoa, what am I doing? Why am I feeling guilty over this?
Yes.
It was so freeing and encouraging. And then it kind of just nudged me back over to, why were you doing this in the first place? This really was so that you could be closer to God. This really was so that you could be healthier and do what you're called to do without being so exhausted all the time. This really, it was realigning. That's the word. It was just realigning me with what its purpose was supposed to be. But somewhere along the way, I don't know how, I had just slightly, just a little bit, started making it about the task that I did, and I check it off, and boy, I feel really good because of that. Yeah. But it's not about the God. It's not about the health. It's not about all the other positive reasons. Yeah. And so for me, that's what that was, just a realigning, of those intentions.
I was going to say, do you think it's intention-based? Mm-hmm. Do you think when we're taking inventory, so for example, the things that comfort me when I don't see him and I don't recognize sugar is one of those things.
Bring it on.
Yeah. A little Amazon touch, this is going to be fun to receive later in the week. Those things are pretty easy.
Sure.
But then the things that aren't as easy are the things that I think I'm doing to be closer to him. And then I think, oh, gosh, am I putting too much faith in this, or am I putting too much effort in this and not enough effort in what was my original intention?
Yeah, I think that, for me, gets at the heart of it. Yeah.
And just to inventory those things in your life that you might not even recognize.
Yeah.
I got my calendar out and I looked at the week and I said, where does all my time, energy, effort go? And where does my time, energy, and effort spent with God, how does that compare?
Right. Yeah. And I think sometimes what's really cool is, how can I invite God into all this? Like, I think God is, as our Father, just he wants to be with us all the time. So instead of, it always having to be, how am I creating time over here for God? It's like, how do I start sanctifying? The word sanctify means to set apart. Well, how do I set apart this normal routine every day and make it a part of my relationship with him? What's that look like,
Yeah.
So, gosh, I mean, when I was a janitor, and I did that for all through college and seminary to help pay, it did pay my way through seminary. I remember, like, it wasn't the most fun job I've ever had.
Right.
But I remember being in there and saying, God, like, what can you do with this time?
Yeah.
I got time. I don't have to wait to go and speak to you and pray to you and worship you. Like, you've given me some really good time right now. Now, that was a job where it was a mindless job. I had lots of time to do that,
Right.
But there's other things that I've learned in my life, like, how do I incorporate, allow God to be invited into these places where he starts being the God of all my life,
And so I relate that a little bit to either or thinking instead of either or, both and.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think we get in trouble a lot of there with politics. I think at the core of it all, we have the same intent. Maybe how we get there is a little different, or we
Right.
don't agree on that, how we get there. And maybe this is the same.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So just inventorying where I'm spending my time, what's the purpose of that, and it doesn't have to be either health or
Right.
a relationship with God, but how can I use this health journey and deepen my relationship with him?
Yeah, like, God, this health journey that I'm on, you said to treat our bodies like temples.
Yeah.
So this is where your spirit dwells. I want to honor that. But as I'm doing that, Lord, show me when I'm doing it only for myself or only to extend life, as good as that is, but not with you, and allowing you to be the God that I'm depending on as I'm doing this. This journey is actually helping my health, but it's also keeps pointing me to you. Every time I turn around, it's making me think of you again. And whether it's, what an amazing body we have, like the way it's able to adapt to things that, like, you amaze me. Like, I see you and I know that little bit of your story, and I think, how in the world are you still here? How are you functioning? How do you have a full-time job? How do you do all the things you're doing? What an amazing, and I think those things, like, then it's all of a sudden you're, God, look at you.
It's gross, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Like,
Absolutely.
I don't know,
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And I think
perspective.
if we just have the humility to be able to question all of those things,
Yes.
and be respectful of, where do I spend my time?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe I need to, and again, I don't have the answer for anybody else.
Mm-hmm. No.
But just the conversation of, what does that look like on a Monday
Right.
when I leave here?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at, do I worship false idols in my life?
Right.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
So thank you for that conviction, and again for just helping me to clear the cobwebs and think, how do I apply this to be better?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the last closing thought for me I want to encourage somebody with is that when you have the courage to say, hey, God, is there anything that needs to be realigned? I hope we can get past this image of a God who's shaking his finger saying, you better believe it, here I come. Because the God that we see and even the Old Testament God from Isaiah is, I want to renew your strength. You are weak and I want to give you power. You can't see things where you are. I'm going to make you soar like an eagle. Like, that's this beautiful, I think, moving promise of God that every time he calls for a realignment, I go to this place of, I'm really good at the whole church guilt thing. I can go there and live there well. And God's like, that's a distraction too. You know what I mean? That can become a God. So will you hear me? I'm trying to give you strength, Chad. I'm trying to give you power because you're weak right now. And I'm trying to get you your head above all this stuff so you can see things where you can't see right now. And it's a promise. of his love. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that's a perfect way to end the series, is just through, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me.
Yeah.
Look for me a little bit.
Right.
Recognize me in being here. It's okay to question the stuff.
Right.
You're not going to understand what I understand.
Right.
And take a little inventory. Do a
Right.
little self-reflection. What's that look like in your personal walk?
Yeah. You're so good.
It's been awesome.
You summed it up well.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
And we've done one series now.
We've done one series.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Thank you. And
Yeah.
thank those of you who have tuned in and listened to us. Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited to be here with you guys, and hopefully it'll make a difference in your own personal walk.
Right. Thanks, Stephanie.